Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first Spokane City Council meeting of the year. Before we get to the roll call, I just wanted to invite, we have a guest, Mabel Elsom, but we're having a hard time getting you into the meeting, Mabel. If you can sign out and then re-sign in, hopefully that will work. But let's have the clerk call the roll.
Council President Beggs.
Present.
Councilmember Burke. Councilmember Burke.
You're muted. Okay. You're not muted.
Again. Councilmember Burke.
Wonder if they can.
Nope.
Okay.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I do see.
Present.
I do see Councilmember Burke. Councilmember Cathcart.
Present.
Councilmember Kinnear.
Here.
Councilmember Mumm.
Here.
Councilmember Stratton.
Here.
Councilmember Wilkerson.
Present.
Let the record reflect that all council members are present.
All right. And we have a proclamation this evening regarding slavery and human trafficking awareness. And Councilmember Kinnear is going to read that for us.
Thank you. I just want to acknowledge before I read this that Councilmember Mumm and I have worked very hard on this over the years. So we flipped a coin and I got to read it, but she's going to read it with me in spirit. And we have Mabel hopefully able to receive it after I read this. Whereas the United States is founded upon the principle that all people are created with the unalienable right to freedom and added the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, making slavery illegal. And human trafficking is modern-day slavery, claiming nearly 40 million victims worldwide and found in the United States most often in the form of sexual exploitation, forced labor, involuntary servitude, and debt bondage. And whereas this horrific crime, which denies human dignity and freedom and fuels organized crime, exists in our nation, our state, and our own community. Every business, community organization, faith community, family, and individual can make a difference by choosing products that are not made by forced labor, by working to protect our young people from sexual exploitation, and by becoming more aware of the problem and possible solutions. And whereas the Spokane Inland Northwest Human Trafficking Task Force has been working for decades to abolish all forms of human trafficking through education, prevention, and intervention, and works collaboratively to provide advocacy, support, empowerment, healing, and justice. Now, therefore, Nadine Woodward, Mayor of the City of Spokane, on behalf of the citizens of Spokane, do hereby proclaim January 2021 as Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention and Awareness Month, and encourage all our citizens to become informed on this growing problem, to be vigilant and report suspicious activity, and to work towards solutions to end trafficking in all its forms in our community. So if Mabel is on the line, I would invite her to say a few words.
Yes, Ms. Elsom, if you're there. If you are on the phone, Ms. Elsom, if you could hit *3, that will raise your hand for us. All right. Go ahead and introduce yourself. We're so happy to hear from you. Are you there, Mabel? Are you there, Mabel?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. Been trying to figure out this whole technological issues. Thank you. Well, good evening, council members. Thank you so much for agreeing to read tonight's proclamation. And thank you for proclaiming the month of January as Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention and Awareness Month, and for encouraging all of our citizens to become more informed on this growing problem. Now more than ever, we need to work together to make sure that our most vulnerable in our community receive the help and the work they need, and to work towards solutions to end trafficking in all forms in our community. I would like to thank Councilwoman Mom for her extreme support that she's been giving our agency and me, and working and trying to figure out how we can get human trafficking awareness signs at Riverfront Park, at the STA Plaza, and in a lot of other places that are absolutely needed at this moment. People need to know that they can reach out for help, and that there is help in this community, and that there are people that are working together to address this situation. We are extremely thankful that hopefully at the beginning of this week or next week, we will be able to get some of this awareness signs installed at the park, and at least that will be the beginning where people can reach out for help and call for support. And I also would like to thank Councilwoman Burke for reaching out. She would like to see if there is a way that we can have some of the signs that we are already working on installing at various locations in Spokane, and to be able to have them in multiple languages, so that this way everyone has an opportunity to reach out and call for help. And also to Mayor Woodward for agreeing to attend and read the proclamation again at our human trafficking, at the Inland Northwest Human Trafficking Task Force on Monday, January 11th, which is Human Trafficking Awareness Day. In this way, she can also see the work that is being done in Spokane and all of the people that are involved in trying to address this issue that is now more than ever is affecting so many people that are vulnerable, and that they need to know that there is help. So thank you so much for bearing with me and dealing with all these difficult issues here with technology, but I was able to get through, and thank you for reading tonight's proclamation, Councilwoman Kinnear. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mabel, and all the work that you and your organization do, and we're wishing you the best next Monday. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Turning to, we have 3 appointments.
Reappointment of Jennifer Ogden to a 5-year term on the Spokane Park Board from February 2nd, 2021 to February 3rd, 2026. Appointment of Satish Shrestha, sorry if I mispronounced that. Satish Shrestha as an at-large member, and Rian Hidalgo as a youth member to the Bicycle Advisory Board. Each shall serve a 3-year term from January 4, 2021 to January 5, 2024.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? All right. Thanks so much for your service to all 3 of you. And that gets us to a resolution, it looks like, our legislative agenda with one thing on it.
Resolution 2021-1, declaring GPI Strategies Corporation a sole source online computer-based trainer provider, and authorizing the City of Spokane to directly enter into a contract with GPI Strategies for a period of 5 years in lieu of public bidding for maintaining annual OSHA compliance training requirements.
We heard about this afternoon. Occasionally, when we have only one source, we have to have a resolution in favor of that, and that's what this is. There's no public comment. Any council commentary? Seeing and hearing none, we'll have a roll call. Councilmember Mumm.
Aye.
Councilmember Stratton.
Aye.
Councilmember Kinnear.
Aye.
Council President's an aye. Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilkerson.
Aye.
All right, that passes 7-0. We are having open forum tonight. We have one person signed up. We'll be getting to that shortly. Next, first reading ordinances.
Ordinance C 36000 relating to authorized military organizations and creating a new section 10.10.035 of the Spokane Municipal Code. Ordinance C 36001 will be considered under hearings item H1B. Further action is deferred on the first reading ordinances.
That gets us to hearings.
H1A, vacation of the alley bounded by Riverside, Sprague, Medelia, and Helena as requested by Calistar Holdings Incorporated. H1B, first reading ordinance C 36001, vacating the alley bounded by Riverside Avenue, Sprague Avenue, Medelia Street, and Helena Street. Further action is deferred on the first reading ordinance.
And I believe we have Eldon Brown who's going to show us his diagram.
Good evening, Council.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this vacation was proposed by Calistar Holdings. City staff reviewed it. It's the alley between Medelia and Helena from Riverside to Sprague. We've reviewed it. Really didn't have any issues with it. There are no city utilities in that alley. We did have 3 private utility purveyors. It was Comcast, Avista, and Zayo. They've all got some utilities in that alley. They would like to reserve easements. This is an alley that we would require payment of the assessed value of the property, which amounts to be about $29,532. But staff would recommend approval of this vacation subject to the conditions.
All right.
Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Brown? Not seeing any. We don't have any public comment. So we go to a roll call. Councilmember Mumm.
Aye.
Councilmember Stratton.
Aye.
Councilmember Kinnear.
Aye.
Council President's an aye. Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilkerson.
Aye.
All right, that passes 7-0. And do you just need to read that last one, 1B, or what?
I read it.
You already read it. It's
Yeah.
okay, we've already read that. That brings us to the end of our legislative agenda, and we're now to open forum. I believe we have one speaker, Nicolette Ochiltree. If you're there, hit *3. All right. Happy New Year, Nicolette. Go ahead and introduce yourself. You have up to 3 minutes. Are you there?
Happy New Year, Council. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Well, Happy New Year to you guys. I certainly look forward to seeing what you do this year. And I just wanted to say that, I don't know if you guys remember this, but on July 13th, 2020, you guys overturned Mayor Woodward's veto on the mosquito devices. And for those at home, mosquito devices produce these high-frequency sounds at frequencies and decibels that can cause immediate, permanent, and irreversible damage to your hearing. Council, you also may remember that you guys added a restriction on that ordinance such that it wouldn't go into effect until December 2020 or when the police precinct opened up. Well, December 2020 has passed, and the police precinct is open. But there are still buildings using the mosquito devices, including the Sterling building at 111 North Wall Street, and they also use the address 710 West Riverside. And you may recognize that address as the police precinct, because the police precinct is still using mosquito devices, or at least their building is. And this is a violation of the ordinance that you guys put together and discussed at great length and listened to citizens' concerns about, and even overturned a mayor's veto on it. So I just want to make sure your hard work is being preserved and that these laws are being enforced. Currently, as it stands, the activation and use of these devices is a violation of Spokane Municipal Code 1008D050 and 70. So it's possible the police can't hear it. Some folks have hearing damage that can come with age and being exposed to loud sounds like gunshots. And so if they don't hear it, then they're not violating the ordinance knowingly. So they're not going to be in violation of Chapter 1008D.090, which is a public disturbance noise, if they knowingly continue to use those devices. I would have called a Spokane Crime Check. However, the last time I did that, before these devices were banned, I called over a period of 7 hours. Nobody ever showed up. And when I called the last time, they told me they had no record of me calling. I hope that you can help me help the police become informed about these violations at the Sterling building and as well as the Cataldo building at 31 West Cataldo Avenue. They also use the address 25 West Cataldo Avenue. What good is actually passing these ordinances if they're not enforced? I know I've said those exact words before to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Happy New Year. I hope that you guys are safe on the 6th when Matt Shea hosts a rally. He said the president
Nicolette,
had asked him to hold.
Your time's up, but thank you.
Thank you
so much for bringing that to our attention. We will definitely look into it. Appreciate it. All right, that brings us to the end of our scheduled agenda for tonight. We'll see you back on the 11th, where we're going to have some special music honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the holiday coming up, where we're going to miss our meeting on the 18th. So with that, everyone, please take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of others. We're adjourned.